Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co host, Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
We are back for the Southern Charm Season 9 reunion. This is part one of the reunion. Like and subscribe here, hit the notification bell. We cover all things Bravo, including the upcoming season of Vanderpump Rules. Shout out to DJ James Kennedy on tonight's episode of Southern Hospitality,
Oh, wow.
visiting Charleston. I don't know why, but probably just will love
Plug.
a plug, probably doing something, DJ a party there. Um, this reunion, Brian, we've been disappointed with the season, right? There has been a lot of repetitive storylines, the Taylor Austin lies, Olivia's fallout with that, Shep's fallout with that. Um, that really was the crux of the season, and we kind of went around in a lot of like mini circles with it, whether it was the early on arguments, the nudes to Whitney, the Jamaica trip when the article drops, and we kind of have to replete this. And I was kind of worried that this is what the reunion was going to be. And frankly, I got to say, this reunion so far has delivered way more than I thought. The conversations went in a lot of different directions that I didn't foresee. What are your kind of instant thoughts on the reunion? And then we will deep dive into the points.
Yeah, because would you say 50% of this episode was things that didn't really happen on the show?
I think they addressed the Shep drinking stuff, which has always been on the show, but that wasn't the BravoCon
Yeah.
things that a lot of us know about. That was a big chunk of the show. Um, Specifically with the Whitney nude stuff, kind of Whitney's part of it, and
Right.
Whitney not being there, but really kind of where Whitney's fault was in this and where that didn't kind of come about. Um, yeah, I mean, I think overall they did a good job of addressing it. There wasn't a lot of screaming. Um,
Not yet.
there's two kind of things, like major threads and themes I pull from this reunion, and we can almost say from the season, Brian. One, especially you can see with the Shep situation, a lot of these people are burned out on each other. They are like sick of each other. They are sick of being up in each other's stuff. They're all kind of burned out on it, whether it's serious situations like Craig and Austin kind of being over Shep's drinking, to people being over just like Austin being a little baby boy, to even frankly, like, Madison and them are like out. They don't even care anymore. They're like, Matt, she's like, I'm out. Like, I don't even, they don't even care that they say things to each other anymore. And two is, how the hell do you still lie to each other? Like, why do they even try it? Like, why do they even try to lie to each other anymore? Like, I don't get it. It all comes out. Me specifically talking like with the Taylor stuff, with the text chain, and with a lot of her other kind of her secrets, especially the T-Rav stuff. So, what do you think about those two takeaways?
Yeah, I've never really liked Taylor. I still think she kind of sucks. Yeah, the lying thing is like there's so many. It's not even just like lying to yourself and like social media is there, but like you go out in public and people recognize you. You can't do anything without like probably some form of documentations or just anything. So like just tell the truth. And a lot of these situations are incredibly preventable.
I agree.
And it's just they make the mess themselves. So it's really, really hard to feel bad for any of them, to be honest with you.
I've mentioned a few times, and we can touch on kind of the two big conversations of the episode, in my opinion. One being the Shep conversation. It's just tough to see. I mean, the guy, genuinely do believe the guy, because we've been saying it for a couple of years. Like, yeah, you're becoming Thomas Ravenel. Like, you
Yep.
aren't doing anything. You're not actually contributing anything. You just have some money and you are just partying and being gross. And eventually, no one's going to want to hang out with you. Apparently, Shep and Austin, Austin and Craig hit that point with him already. Like, he tried to get like his friends together for some like apology, and they just said, nah, sorry, bud. Like, not
Yeah.
into it. And guess what? I guess he's right, because look, I don't think it'd be a stretch to say he's more than likely an alcoholic. Um,
Yeah.
when he does a lot of bargaining, he's like, well, I don't do liquor or shots anymore. And they're all looking at him like, dude, so you're telling me you can't get drunk on beer? Like, you're literally telling us physiologically you can't do it anymore. That doesn't mean you can't just do liquor anymore. Like, if you're getting to the point where your friends who also still drink don't want to hang out with you, like, it's bad.
Right. Yeah, if you're gonna get over something, you got to go full blown into it. So like, it's just an excuse, honestly. This like that. Oh, I'm not doing this, but he's still. I don't believe it. I mean, well, I guess we talk pre-show. Like, we'll find out if this
Well,
if it's being followed. But
Madison was all of us, but they went to Madison aside, and she's like, "Wait a second, I thought he was going to say he was sober or like going to rehab. I was about to cry. Like, is he
yeah,
serious? Like, it's a joke, right? Like, that's he's like, it's just drawing attention back to yourself. It's just wanting attention, but not wanting to actually fix yourself, right? Like,
yeah,
you want like sympathy, but like, what's the crap saying? Like, oh, me and Taylor would have got married if I wasn't on TV. No, you would have got married if you didn't cheat on her. Like, what are you talking about?
yeah. And you weren't a douche.
So yeah, it's interesting. It also does play a lot when you think about like how there is like the Austin and Craig podcast, right? There's no Shep, right? It's like I always thought about that, but it's very interesting. But again, it's probably, I mean, if I'm Craig, I besides doing the show, I wouldn't hang out with Shep. It just like tries
No.
to bully you still. You're like in your getting your 40s and you're getting bullied by a guy because he's just like, well, I'm richer than you. It's like, well, not for long, bud. Like,
Yeah, he's a rich dude that doesn't like didn't really work for his money. At least not. Isn't that how it worked? He was a
yeah,
trust
no,
fund,
he
baby,
doesn't.
right?
Never did. His family's
Yeah.
rich.
So like, I don't. Yeah,
I've seen the
I mean,
hunting cabins like a hotel.
it's like it's loser attitude. So yeah, I wouldn't want to hang out with him. I've always said that. I think he's just the reason that he gets with girls. He's rich and he's tall. Other than that, he's a complete loser.
And because he's in South Carolina where they're like
Yeah.
into that apparently.
Right.
Yeah. Besides that, it's really, and it's a shame. Look, and I think it would be great because early again because he was younger. Early season Sheps were fun. I did enjoy Shep. It was goofy because he was in his early 30s. You know what I mean? Like it was like our age.
Yeah.
We started to binge the show, but like I don't. I would love to see like a redemption arc. I'd like to see sober, fun Shep. Like he can be California sober. He'd still like smoke and stuff if he wants, but like this dude
I don't
can't
believe it.
drink.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, no, I don't think it's going to happen, but that's what I would love to see. So because frankly, I think that if he doesn't, we can start to see like where the storylines go. We start to see the splits and like then you see like Ronnie from Jersey Shore trying to
Yeah,
make
if
a.
he's honestly like really serious about this, he needs to take a break from the show. Honest,
That's what
that's
They
what
were
it
kind
is.
of suggesting, and I think his
What it needs
eyes
to
were
be.
like,
What am I gonna do then?
I
So
think if he were smart, and you probably see from the reaction, I haven't been on Twitter yet to really see it, but like I'm sure that he's getting hammered. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of articles tomorrow on like our major like trade sites about it, and he's going to be getting questioned. And if he isn't sober right now, people are going to be. It's not a. You don't open. It's an immature thing too. You don't open that door and present that to people, and then not be surprised when everyone's like, "Hey, you should not be drinking." Like
right.
I hope that's why he did it. I hope that's why he did it. So he knew he almost would get publicly forced into it. Maybe like maybe
Yeah.
that's he thinks the
Yeah.
only way he'll do it. I don't know.
Very possible. Don't blame him.
Um, Speaking of Thomas Ravenel, we got a Thomas Ravenel shout out. Taylor, another scumbag move, decides to like force Olivia to reveal that she had lied about actually hooking up with Thomas Ravenel. That came up in last year's reunion. Literally has nothing to do with anything. Is not the same as her hooking up with Austin and lying to Shep and all. And again, just I mean, if there was any shot ever that Olivia was going to be her friend, it's a fat zero right now. Fat zero.
Yeah,
Taylor's
Taylor.
done. Taylor should leave the show, honestly.
She stinks, man. Like I don't know. I don't think a
Her
lot of
story's over, in my opinion. I don't really care about anything else having to go
no,
on with
how do you
her.
feel bad for somebody like that? I just like I ugh, man, just looking at her facial expressions and just like how she's and like Olivia knew what she was gonna say. Not saying that Olivia we found out does some still does some dumb things, but like I don't know. Taylor stinks. I agree. I don't want to see her again.
I mean, we are going to see her again. Also, real quick, let's bring up again Mr. White Knight, JT. Whew, this dude from the F Boy exorcism right off the top. Everyone's like, how they're going to like Shep. How you doing, Shep? Oh, I'm good, Eddie. How you doing? I'm good. JT, it's time for an exorcism. He was like, everyone's like, yo, dude, just like enough. Like, again, I think he's always just a little extra for me.
But yeah, definitely. I feel like next week will be his. I guess he'll be going crazy. I guess with Austin, but it's a fight though, man. I have to side with him because I hate Austin literally so much. I hate him more than probably anybody on like Bravo TV. So it's gonna take a lot for me to not like
No,
suck.
no, okay. I get what you're saying there. But I think you can agree that he's just
No,
coming
yeah,
off. He's a loser because he's been going after, he's
he's
simping
an
for
absolute
Taylor.
loser. He's an absolute loser. And I just, it was really funny watching his facial expressions when these people are like, I slept with Thomas Ravenel, and he's just like, why is no one sleeping with me? Like all he was thinking, that's what was going on in his head. Like,
He's
what
like,
am I doing?
well, I can't get any of these girls, and
Yeah,
every single other guy here's had all of them. Like,
yeah,
I'm just
guy's
a.
60 or whatever.
He's got to go for Patricia. He's just got to go for the Hail Mary play.
Yeah, no way.
Um, Look, well, I'm looking forward to seeing how this is resolved. I am more looking forward to seeing social media over the next few days, and just seeing kind of how this unravels. Uh, a lot of stuff going on the channel. Brian and I are currently will be covering both the season twos of the Traders, the UK and US versions. We're already on episode 5 of UK. US premieres tomorrow, first 3 episodes. So myself, Brian, Kyle Petty will be there to review that. We are covering everything and anything reality TV. Check the playlist, check our TikTok. You'll see everything we're doing. But for myself, Brian, everyone here at the Reality Guys, thank you so much for watching.